45 days remaining to the end of the year, and we are today on the 16th of November 2023, and the time check in the studios is 32 minutes past actual 7 a.m. Somebody will say 28 minutes to 8 a.m. That is what somebody will say, but that is apparently what the time is, and we'll be discussing a lot of issues here. My name is Federick Dramadri, and we have a lot to discuss with you. But remember, the issues to do with waking up early and jogging around, first taking cold water and so on is very important. That is actually one big issue here. The health experts are saying that we need to take water before actually we go anywhere. Okay, it's a cold water that you should take. You should first do some exercise, a brief one, before you actually start going for your normal duties, and that keeps your body very healthy, and also your body will be glittering just because you have taken water. There are some people who force a lot of cosmetics on their body. They make sure that they smear the body until it is like as if you're been dipped into a cooking oil, and that is really quite unfortunate, because really it's water that actually moisturizes, gives you that soft body, and also the glittering body that you'll be always having. That is very important if you want to really take it very further or do a lot of things. And I remember today is the World Day for tolerance. Okay, they are the World Day for tolerance, and it is much to do with making sure that people are able to be tolerant, or they are supposed to be resilient in as far as handling issues is concerned. There are some moments some people are termed to be short-tempered. They cannot even tolerate certain things, and this affects a lot of decision making. Okay, it interferes with the decision making processes. So if you are tolerant enough, you'll be able to at least take your time, understand what is going on and so on, and that is one way really we can be able to solve some issues amicably, okay, in a best way that maybe you will not regret in the near future. That's one big issue there. And remember, there are a lot of issues that we'll be really discussing here. Remember, yesterday a crisis meeting was organized for actually to resolve the issue to do with actually the conflict between URA and the communities. Remember the fatal accident that actually occurred along Arua Nebi Road, that is around Rema Hospital. This was one unfortunate incident that occurred when really actually one of the URA vehicles braked or stopped abruptly when now the border actually rammed his motorcycle onto the vehicle, and that's how really one person got dead from that incident. So we'll be able to actually bring you detailed analysis of what issues transpired and also what is actually developing right now. We are informed that the 16 million Ugandan shillings that was demanded by the family has not been approved, and up to now the body is still lying at Arua Regional Referral Hospital mortuary. So what does it take? What is it? Who is on the wrong? What can be done? And this is where really we'll be going into. But also other issues. Remember, the president of this country, that is His Excellency Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, has ordered for expedition on the processes of tracking the digital number plates, and that is one big issue there that is moving on. And he says he's actually tired of seeing these manual number plates on motorcycles, motor vehicles in this country, and he's speaking this in relation to the crimes that are being committed, and many times the persons who commit the crimes escape. It's hard to track them. So this is one big issue there that is going on in this country. And remember, there are many others. 71% of Ugandans are actually advocating for the reinstatation of the term and age limits. So what is your take about this? That is another issue there that we are actually going to really be going to. And many others talk about World Health Organization has actually gone on to compensate sexual abuse victims in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and that's one big issue there that is happening. Remember, in Liberia, our eyes are still there in between George Weah and his vice president. Remember, the elections concluded yesterday, and the outcome is yet to come out. But issues are coming there about the issues of poor voter turnout. The low voter turnout is seen to be as one big issue there across African countries, where voting is not really a priority for many. And what does this call for? Maybe people are tired of the system of democracy that we are right now adopting as Africans, or there is something wrong that we have not done to the citizens to convince them to continue making or dedicating their time to go for the voting, okay, electing their leaders. So that is something we need to really look at. We'll be also going into that, but also those who are watching us here in Arua City, we say thank you very, very, very much, and I appreciate that really everyone is on the toes, trying to run around within the 41 or 45 days remaining, trying to evaluate what he or she is doing. And I remember, I'm just quite disappointed with the tea passions, okay, the tea people who are making tea early in the morning. You see, in Kampala or in other parts of this country, you realize that from 7 or 6:30 already tea is ready. But in Arua, it's the opposite. You see people coming at 8, start making tea, they start selling tea at 8. This is one unfortunate thing. We will not grow if we delay with things like that. Many times, if you don't want to grow, you will always be left behind. And that means there is actually a great opportunity for others to come and venture into this kind of businesses. For sure, if you are someone who is serious, you should be by 6:30 already at the tea joint trying to sell your tea. And that's where really people who want to go into offices, who want to travel, will take tea before they catch up with the buses at 7 sharp. So if you come at 8 and start selling the tea, who is there to take your tea? And that is a very, very important thing. We need to tap that virgin opportunity that is actually existing in the city. So the business fraternity, take it from me now that you are not doing enough in as far as looking at what people need in this town. You need to identify the priorities of the customers and make sure that service delivery is within the time, okay? Money is time, okay? Time is money. That's what some people used to say. So if you cannot come timely, you will not be able to actually get that money. And many others that we have seen. I've just cited an example with the tea sellers who are always on the streets, who are not coming even to their shops early. Sometimes they are very dirty. And if you look at the cups, some of them, the cups have cracks, others are dirty, sometimes they are not well washed, sometimes even the person who is putting the escort is dipping the hand to pick it. Sometimes you yourself, you the one who is selling, looks very disorganized, and hygienically you are not up to date. And sometimes people reason in different ways. They feel like maybe this food might be dirty, like the way you look. So those are things really we need to work on if we want to really move further and ensure that we achieve what we want to actually do, and also make sure that we're able to get what is good for the people. Okay, when people come to your business premises, they should be able to admire the environment. They should be able to ask for more. Okay, like somebody will say, give me the same. Okay, just like, because somebody is acclimatized with the environment, and somebody is able to see that where you are selling your food item is very convenient, and they will be able to bring for you more customers because you have good reception. First of all, the reception starts from your face. If you are smiling at your work, at your business premises, people will be able to come and say, yes, this is where I think I can go and take my tea. This is where I can go and eat food, because the people there are happy. They are actually joyous. They are making us feel together when they are doing actually this kind of things. But you realize that at some point in some business premises, you fail to even identify why people are looking gloomy, with gloomy faces. They have wrinkled faces. They have I don't know, maybe from home you were maybe perturbed by some issues, you are stressed and so on, you better leave the duty station and maybe allow somebody to continue. Because really, if I go to your business premises and I find you as if you are not ready to serve me, then I'll just move away. I'll walk away, because you don't need the money. If you needed the money, that means you should have been really welcoming. You should have that hospital environment which is able to convince someone. But also the type of dress that you have at your workplace matters also. You know, when you are dirty, or when you put on your second-hand clothes, if you have ironed it, it looks better. If you just look dirty, you have the sandals on your foot, and sometimes people say the old sandals look like tilapia fish. The behind side, you see somebody's pulps, or you'll say the foot is stamping the ground, and yet you are supposed to actually put on a better shoe. Okay, whether open or closed, it should be a very good one, not really this dirty one where you walk with it and yet people really want to see the beauty you have. When you look decent, that's where really people come for your businesses. But also making sure that the business environment is okay, making sure that people who are serving the food, their hygiene is okay. These issues of coming, you are seated and the containers you are packing the food in is very dirty, is another issue that chases away actually the customers. And this is one very critical issue that we need to all really fight to ensure that the issues, the money that is actually bypassing you comes back to you. This comes because now when you have been able to create an environment that allows everyone to come, like there are some people who do not want to be served by other religious people who are believing in other religions, and that's why really many times if you have done catering, they say you should first dress your hair. You make sure that there's some hood that you put on, and it should be a very good one, not this one where you put and it looks there are some hoods that have been made Barcelona, Arsenal, Man U, where people put on them, and many times you put several times and don't wash it. It smells and so on. That makes it very dirty. You need to have a very good anchor and maybe tie your head to avoid the hair falling into the food and so on. Looks very nice, and you don't look disorganized. And make sure that the people who are collecting your monies are those independent persons. It's not like you are the one receiving the money, you are also the one serving the food. And at some point, you find these people who are serving the food are even touching some of the parts of maybe some of the food items and so on. This makes it very bad. Okay, hygienically you are actually spreading diseases, which is so bad. And we've seen so many eating centers. They call them hotels, but those are not hotels, because really somebody is selling under a papyrus mat, under what and so on. You feel like you are in a hotel. That's not a hotel. It's an eating center. But in these eating centers, what is the hygiene around these places? You have seen many of them around corridors of people's buildings, where bodabodas are parking, where maybe garages are established, and where many other things are established. But you realize that at some point somebody has eaten food, wants to go and maybe release some of them that have overstayed into him. Talk about maybe wants to go and urinate, or is feeling like wants to go and defecate. So you don't have any shelter, you don't have talk about general washrooms. They are not there. And these are facilities that are actually needed at eating joints. And that's why really many of the health workers always have, or the health educators or health officers in local governments have issues with people. Remember, yesterday was one that was actually done in a German district. Fortibet company was actually closed because really they did not have, they did not meet the public health Act when we talk about Public Health Act, that is the law regarding the health of the people who are moving around and so on. So when you are establishing an eating shelter or eating joint or even a place where people are going to gather many, that means you need those necessary utility or maybe things that are needed for hygiene. Talk about toilets, talk about shelters and so on. They should be there to ensure that really, in case of emergency, there are some people who have diarrhea and so on, they would just want to run there and do it quickly. Because with diarrhea, you don't need to waste time. People call it bajaj. At some point, you may think you are polluting when feces is coming out. So those are things we need to really talk and we need to really dialogue on. Many times people are not responding to this. So the health workers need to really go deep down to ensure that they actually look at the business premises, they're able to license them, they're able to actually work around this. And those facilities that were actually closed included betting shelters and many other things that was in Ajuman district. But also those who are watching us from other parts of Western region, we say thank you and welcome to the show that is the Kokoliriko show that comes every Monday up to Friday. We are in this show discussing a lot of issues that are pertinent to the health of the people, that are pertinent to the development of this country, that are pertinent to the livelihood in, developments in every sector. Remember, it's very, very important to note that we all need to play our part as stakeholders in engaging the community, in engaging the family, in engaging duty bearers, and also ensure that service is rendered in a fair or a justifiable manner. We don't need to see maybe some groups of people benefiting alone when others are not benefiting. So that's very, very important to note, and also we need to really follow that critically. Remember, there's a lot that is going on in very many districts. Remember, this issue of grasshoppers is another serious thing that people are looking at. There are so many business persons who are actually thinking that this is the time they will be making money. But up to now, we have not seen the incentive coming, and that is where really people are looking at the weather. And others are saying, God, why? God, why? And yet it's not God. And there are many people who are making a lot of jokes. Others are saying the grasshoppers this year, most of them are females. They are still waiting for money for boda boda and so on. That is how really the situation is. But I hope let's be patient, and this could be the issues to do with protection of the environment. Remember, these insects move when they are at least green areas. They move to green areas, they move to where they feel they can be feeding. So if we have tempered with this, we have built all over without planning. We have a lot of gardening work that is done. We have established a lot of industries, factories and so on. This is where we are heading to. So if we are not seeing grasshoppers coming this time, that means in the few years to come, we will not see any of those insects coming again. And also we have seen many birds disappearing, many animals, wild animals disappearing. So this is the state we are in. We should be able to admit that we have erred. So we should be able to go also back to ensure that we come back to the normal greening. Okay, that's why really yesterday actually the president of Democratic Republic of Kenya actually launched a holiday for tree planting, and they want to plant 100 million trees within a week, and that's what they have done. There's a holiday that has been launched for 1 week. Everyone is going to where he comes from. Whether you're in town, whether you're in the ministry, you go home and go and plant trees. And that's what they launched yesterday. So this campaign, this kind of campaigns if implemented well, if we go with them very seriously, we should be able to really actually have the green cover, green nature revamped, and also ensure that we start enjoying the usual lives our ancestors were enjoying, and also many other things that will be coming our ways. Okay, that is one big issue there. We need to actually understand from that perspective, but also looking at many other issues that are happening that I said with you. I told you that there are a couple of issues now already happening. Remember the issues to do with the digital number plates, the issues to do with the URI, and many others that we'll be really discussing here. You should be able to share your comments with us from wherever you're watching us, that through your maybe your YouTube channel, through the YouTube, you should be able to go there and search for what we call the Kokoliriko show, and be able to share your thoughts or opinions. And also, most importantly, where you are watching us from is very, very key. We'll be able to really project them live here, and also tell your share your comments with other people for them to learn something from, and also many other issues that you feel should be added on. It's very, very important, because it's through you and us that we'll be able to reach a bigger media, to educate many people, to empower many people, and also make sure that many people learn from us. That's very, very important. We are offering you the platform to get information, and that's why really West Nile TV is established here on Weda Hill Park Lane in Arua City, for you to really get the local content and also understand many other issues that are happening elsewhere within the region, the continent, and the world at large. And that's very, very key. And moving on, the people who are watching us from Koboko district, and those in Maracha district, Terego, Madiokolo, talk about those in Obonki, Yumbe, Moyo, Jumani. We said thank you very, very much, and I hope that within these remaining days you should be able to reflect on what you have been able to achieve, what you have not been able to achieve, and be able to evaluate where you are heading to, or you are moving backwards, or you are moving forward. That will be from you. You are your first auditor. You are the first person who knows what you are supposed to do. You are the first person who knows how you failed to achieve your plans, and you should be able to make sure that there's a starting block that should be able to cut off all the barriers that made you not to achieve what you intended to achieve. And that's very, very key. And for you who has not been able to evaluate whatever you are doing the whole of maybe your life, you should be able to learn it from now. That is very, very important for you to keep records of what you are doing, and also be able to follow up on some of your plans, whether you have achieved any or not, and how whatever plan you have achieved is helping you is another important thing. We should not be always giving money out, okay? We should be also having other avenues of receiving money apart from the salary, apart from the leisure work. What other thing can bring you money at home? Because every time when you get money like this, you go to the shop, you buy people's things, you go to the market, you buy other merchandise and so on. You buy airtime, you buy data, you buy anything, clothes and so on. Many other things you mention. But what is it that people can bring money to you other than maybe the only sole the biggest margin that you always get from? Maybe if you are doing leisure work, if you are doing maybe if you are having a private enterprise that you are on, what if the money through this stops coming? What other alternative do you have? That's one important thing that we should take seriously in our planning. This should be now the planning season for you to start 2024. So you should be able to evaluate where you went wrong, where you were able to proceed well, and also what is it that new thing that you want to bring in, and what are those other things that you think if you can put them together, they will be able to bring for you another money other than the one that has been generating new money year in, year out. Because we have seen so many times uncertainties coming and also disrupting the normal receiving or normal earnings of people, and many people get stressed, they get frustrated, and many times it becomes very, very difficult for people to come back, and that's why tolerance goes off, and stress comes in, a lot of diseases come on and so on. Many people now do not actually come back to normal life, and as a result to drinking excessively, and this actually affects the mental growth of such a person. So we need to evaluate ourselves and also see what we can be able to improve for next year. That is it. And those who are watching us from Nebi district and municipality, we say thank you. Those from Bakwach and Zombo, we say thank you. And those from Lango and the Choli sub-regions, we are together with you, and we'll be able to really bring all that you want us to share with you. And we have a lot that we want to unpack here, that will be also tapping all those who are watching within Uganda, and also those in the diaspora. We say thank you very, very much. That is it, and let's take a break from here. We'll be able to come back shortly with the issues at hand.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier we introduced the series of topics or issues that we have at hand that we want to share with you, and also make sure that you be part of what we are discussing, so that you'll be able to really give us the opinions or the views that you have that can shape the discussions here with me at West Nile TV. Remember, this is the show that is well packed for you to really understand what is actually happening in this region, in this continent, in this country, and this Africa, this world that we have. And this globe has a lot of issues that are happening. Remember, let's start at home, where the issues of Uganda Revenue Authority enforcement team continuing to kill people in Western Nile region. Remember, this becomes the second incident in space of 1 week. Okay, there was one issue that happened actually on the 8th of November 2023, that was in Koboko district, and this was being handled, and to date it has not been resolved. And another incident happened on 2 days ago in Arua city, where really one person got lost their life, and 2 others got injured. They are still receiving treatment at a regional referral hospital. And yesterday there was a crisis meeting that left a lot of issues unanswered, and the Commissioner General for Uganda Revenue Authority committed that he's actually traveling to Arua by Saturday. So by around 2 p.m. Saturday, he will be here in Arua, and a lot of discussions will be done with the stakeholders. Remember, yesterday, stakeholders were drawn from the districts of Madiokolo, Arua district, Arua city, and many other parts of this region, coming to condemn the actions of the Uganda Revenue Authority when really a lot has been done. There were a number of issues that were raised, and one of the pertinent is the issues of the call-off of the activities of Uganda Revenue Authority. So this suspension comes at a time when people continue to die within a week. So this was attributed to actual reckless driving, where the driver of the Toyota Hilux, that is with registration number 201, that was driven by Senogo Ismail, one of the drivers of the Toyota Hilux, who actually was ahead of the boda who was behind him, trying to drive, and unfortunately one of the vehicles of the Uganda Revenue Authority had parked by the roadside, and he braked abruptly, stopping maybe to talk to the colleague, and this motorcycle actually rammed into this vehicle, and leaving one passenger dead and 2 of them injured. And let's move to the meeting, the crisis meeting, and understand what the leaders were able to say, and the resolutions that were made from the meeting. And that certainly will be moving to get that, and also
those who have not mentioned their names, please.
I am the Regional Supervisor Customs for West Nile, URA. I'll make a brief report on yesterday's incident. Then, during the subsequent discussion, my manager will make other remarks in regards to the issue. So briefly, yesterday, the 14th of November, our team, during the usual routine operations, they were on Kampala Road, headed towards Vura, and around Seford or Rema, the team stopped after identifying something that was of our interest that they wanted to check on. So in the process of stopping, there were 2 vehicles that were moving. So in the process of stopping, they are slowing down and they were going to park aside. So in that process of actually stopping, a fast moving motorcycle that had 2 passengers rammed into one of our cars, docked one of our cars from behind. Now, because of high speed, probably one of the passengers knocked herself on the cabin, on one of the double cabins, and thereafter went and fell at the roadside, injuring her head. So in the process, of course, the team stopped. There was a little bit of commotion there, but the team picked the 3 injured people. The rider was also injured, and the other 2 passengers. So the team collectively picked, supported with some other people who were around. They picked all the 3 injured and they brought them to Arua Main Hospital. Unfortunately, one of the 2 passengers who were injured, and a lady who was a bit elderly, had sustained critical injuries. So at the time, just before she could be received by the hospital, she passed on. So that time, of course, the hospital now received the other two passengers who had been injured and were admitted in the hospital, and the body of the deceased was also received in the hospital for further management. So immediately after, the team went and reported to police.
Only that the number is not there, and I'm very sure one of the officers who reached the that motorcycle, it had the document already. But now what happened was a different thing, and where the community were very hostile, and I was the first person whom they wanted to beat. But I was saying we cannot make 2 wrongings. The URI have already made some more bad thing. We should not continue doing that. Maybe the only thing is to help these ones, because I'm very sure out of the 3 people, at least 1 life or 2 can be saved. That's when we started carrying these people. And for sure, officers from URA, I was disappointed because they never wanted even to pick these people. Not until I reached them, I said, no, you people, you assume that was one of your relative got accident like this, and then you just abandon. Whom do you think should pick this? We are going to use your vehicle to take these people to the hospital. Then some of them really said, okay, it's okay, you help. That's when we started carrying these people.
Those bodies, with the body and the victims, I followed them until we reached the hospital, and indeed the hospital responded very fast. They first carried the 2 victims who are critically injured and for attention. Then later on they carried the body. But of course, as we all know, there was no immediate medicine to give, because I was told the hospital is expecting medicine from national medical stores. So I had to buy the medicine which was required for first aid, so that the painkillers can be administered, because the lady broke, actually the thigh bone was completely crushed. Of the lady. The rider sustained broken leg on the left hand side, and then the woman, the right hand thigh which fractured, femur bone. While in the hospital, of course, people gathered and out of curiosity to find out what was happening, and this being a repeated act of recklessness, I think some commotions started, and the soldiers started firing bullets indiscriminately, not in the air. Some of the bullets I saw were on the wall, that wall of the hospital. Even if we went there, you will see the marks. So I was imagining if such a bullet escaped and went across to Stambik Bank or on the road, what else would have happened? So the firing of gunshots was indiscriminate and very reckless. 2, a hospital is not an environment where you fire bullets. Not even hooting a car or a car hooting. But the gunshots were like as if we were in a battleground. Much as we knew they were trying to exit, but firing bullets where it was not called for, I think was unnecessary. Now about I'll not go into the technicalities, because these are matters which we'll have to either head to court, or if it is going to be handled by settlement, then so be it. Now we have, the good thing is where the accident happened, there's a CCTV camera stationed there. So to prove what the URA officers said and what police has also stated will be, subjected to verification as per the camera footages. And I want to believe that there will be no manipulation of the recordings, because that is what will give us exactly whether the recklessness was on the side of the rider or on the side of the URA team. Because the stories we're getting is that even within the town center here, these two vehicles were driving at breakneck speed, as if there was an emergency somewhere. So the person who first observed the reckless driving is a chief magistrate. Actually, he called me and said, I saw these people driving towards, in Zambia at breakneck speed, as if there was an emergency. And it's not surprising that they ended up causing that accident. So, Mr. Chairman, it will be important for you to retrieve that footage from the CCTV camera to give us a pictorial image of exactly what happened at that time.
With that incident where URA vehicles were involved and a motorcycle rider, one person has lost life, a lady, and two are critically injured. They fractured their limbs. So when this incident happened yesterday, immediately we swung into action to understand exactly what happened. It so happened that the incident also occurred around our business facility, Rama Hospital. I retrieved the CCTV footage. In that footage, roughly what I saw were two vehicles, one parked by the roadside abruptly, the other one remained in the middle of the road. Then a rider came, dodged the one which parked by the roadside, and could not dodge the one in the middle of the road because the two vehicles had all parked. So the rider now got mixed up in between there. He knocked himself on one of the vehicles. Now the camera could not show well that part because of the angle.
To make sure that the situation should not escalate. 2, URA should stop operations as per now until we have meeting with the Commissioner General on Saturday. The situation is tense. No operations until on Saturday. On that. 3, the family be given the support to meet the burial expenses. 4, the person in the hospital, that fractured man, family be supported with something to support the family because he cannot do any work now. 5, the police should bring the two drivers who parked in the middle of the road to make statement in the police. I don't know, crime intelligence, you are listening to this. Yeah. Get those two suspects. I will come and witness myself at the police for statement so that you do your investigation independently. URA, I think concerning the meeting with the family, they have already told us that we select committee together with the family and the URA should meet to discuss the issue of the burial expenses immediately after this meeting. URA should stop interfering with the investigations team of the police. We don't want this case to be somehow, you are making us work difficult. We have a strategic work to do as the office of the RDCs. You are going to make a life difficult for us to approach the community when it comes to the right time. We know our right time, and you understand very well what I'm talking about. You allow us to do our work, but you are making our work so difficult this time. Please. So with these few words, I expect you, the secretary, minister secretary, to add. if what
Okay, may the soul of that has departed rest in eternal peace. That's what we will always share. We will be able to follow you who has actually died in a few days or hours or years to come when hours come. And also that is the situation that actually happened during the crisis meeting that was actually called or chaired by the Deputy Resident City Commissioner, where the leaders from different parts of Western region actually gathered with the URI officials and the people from the police department, that is the CID and the regional traffic officer. All of them were there, but the unfortunate thing is, to date, there is no clear information whether really police reached the event, and that's why you were able to see that the LC1 was actually saying that police and URI, he is actually disappointed with them because they did not actually reach the crime scene, especially the police who were supposed to carry out on with the investigations. That's why he actually kept the motorcycle that is as the exhibit at his home. Up to date, the exhibit is at his home. So what kind of investigation is police doing? How are they doing the investigations? That is one thing. When police was asked in the meeting what was the number of the motorcycle, they actually said they did not know where the number of the motorcycle, and also they were told that it was a numberless motorcycle, and you were able to see how the motorcycle looks like, and the motorcycle is with a registration number both ahead and behind, and that's one big thing there that is in the story. Remember, this is the sixth death that has been reported in space of 3 years from 2021 up to this year, and this is still West Nile. There were a lot of issues that were around this. The family actually tabled a burial bill of 16 million Ugandan shillings that was actually communicated to the URI head office, and this morning statements are still being issued, and a lot of maybe gaps have been still felt in this, where serious communications, commitments, and helping the family has not been done. Up to now, there's nothing like the family receiving a single coin from Uganda Revenue Authority, and that's why another crisis meeting is to be held this morning from around 9 a.m. So that is another issue that will be actually trying to share. Remember, there are arguments that URA is not responsible for the death of those people, and how would this be done? That's one big issue there that will be actually moving into. But remember, tax payment is very, very important. It is the obligation of everyone. But how do we collect the taxes? Okay, how do we collect the taxes? In 2021, I will just cite in Western region, there were efforts put by Uganda Revenue Authority, but also from 2021, yes, in 2021, those efforts were through the intelligence-led operations. This was under the leadership of Ivan Kakaire, who was the then acting manager in Western region. He actually deployed a lot of tricks in as far as dealing with these numberless motorcycles is concerned, and that actually helped a lot in reducing the issues of URA having issues with the people, arrests, and also maybe talk about shooting, direct shootings, and so on. But also a hospital environment is where there should be no noise. And this is one thing that we should be able to consider. Remember, there are people who are at coma and waiting for what is going to be maybe their fate. Okay, it's very important. That's why they are kept in a confined place that is called the hospital. The hospital is a place where there is no noise that is actually expected to be, where hooting, even making any noise, people shouting is not expected. So you go and fire bullets on the compound at the OPD of the hospital. This is quite unfortunate. The officers who fired the bullets are expected to be investigated. So this should be one big issue that police should be able to take, but also the army should be able to come in, because really these were UPDF officers who are working under the Uganda Revenue Authority. So there should be a decision taken about this, and the commander who actually ordered for the firing of the bullets at the hospital premises should be actually brought to the attention of the investigators to answer why they went to fire bullets at the hospital. Was it that the sick people actually turned rowdy on them? Was it the hospital administration was trying to chase them away when they were bringing these persons who were affected and the body of the deceased person? Was it like that? Was it the case that he ordered for shooting, he commanded for the shooting? That is one thing we need to know. Remember, you were able to see some pictures of the cartridges that were left at the OPD. Those were the ones, there were two of them that we were able to see, and also cracks on some of the walls where the bullets were trying to pave their way to exit the walls. And that means if it had penetrated through, that means one or two of the sick persons would have been killed by the bullet, and other than the sickness they were actually battling in the hospital. So those are some of the issues that have happened, and this is just in space of 1 week. I remember from 8th to 14th, that has not actually closed 1 full week. So within 1 week, 2 people died, and I don't know how much they were able to collect. That is the issue that we should be able to discuss. So the next crisis meeting is actually today, this morning by 8:30 is actually commencing. So that's the information that we have just received from security, and those who are responsible to attend the meeting are the limited number, especially the family members, the family lawyers, and many other people, especially the stakeholders, the leaders of the business community, the Chamber of Commerce, and many other people who are coming from other districts. Remember, the person who has died is named to be Margaret Ondiria, who is 70 years from Ofaka sub-county, that is Madiokolo district. And it's reported that these people actually, the border guy is someone who is at Ofaka Trading Center, but also the 2 sisters, they had come to withdraw their money for Paris Development Model from Post Bank. That is how they were able to meet the accident as they were going back to Madiokolo district. That's quite unfortunate. Let's leave it there and move away from that story. The story of politics is rocking the globe, and we've seen 2 incidents now already coming. The issue of people demanding for the reinstation of the age limit and the term limit is another big issue there. Remember, the Constitution of Uganda actually had put the last age of 65 years for somebody who wants to contest, okay? And this was extended to 70 years. Now, the current president that we have is above 70 years, and in 2021 there was an adjustment, or people call it amendment of the constitution, that allowed the president to contest from the from the age of 18 up to the age of Paka last. Okay, I mean, where you feel you can contest, you contest. So that is the age that has been amended. So currently, there are so many people who are saying they actually not satisfied with that amendments, and they want it to be reinstated. But also the term limit. Ideally, in Uganda, you are not supposed to contest for more than 2 terms, and currently you can now contest for more than that. And these are some of the things that are in the constitution that are also cited in the electoral reforms currently. And this was actually done, research was actually done by Hatchell Institute and for Development, and this organization actually did a lot in terms of doing research. They're actually doing research on the democracy and elections in Uganda and other parts of Africa. That's what they are doing, and if you look at the outcome of this research they were able to do, they visited 120,000 people, and this is from 118 districts in Uganda. And out of this, you realize that 71% of the people said actually they are not satisfied with the removal of the term and age limits. So that is one big issue there. So what is your take? What do you think can be done in relation to this? Is it something that will be really accepted? Will the parliament sit down and say, now it's okay, because of public outcry we need to bring back the term limit and the age limit? Is it going to happen like that? Because we show the parliamentarians also forcing their ways of saying that they need actually to stay on power for 7 years, not 5 years. And this is one big other issue there. So will they allow the age limit to be reinstated at 70? Will they allow the term limit to come back for maybe 2 or 3 years again? And those are some of the things that remain on the minds of so many people. So that is it. And if you look at the current elections that we're going to conduct, okay, the elections that are at hand, that is 2026 general elections, we are going for. This will be the 7th term for President Yoweri Museveni to contest, and that is another big issue there that will be really running. And you realize that many electoral reforms have been over the time being put, and there has been little consideration of some of this. So we hope that something will be done around this, or it may not be done, depending on what the legislators will think around. But also people want to stay on power, okay? The MPs who have failed, they want to come back to contest. So if you talk about term limit, age limit, hey, that will actually leave them outside. So they may not allow that. They may not allow that. My statement is may. It's not a must. So it's upon the legislators to go back to amend, or to say, no, we are not going back to touch that law. And that is a very good issue there that is actually taking toll on Uganda's politics. But moving away from politics, talking about the issues of the biometric, or talk about the digital number plates. Yesterday the president actually directed that the dissemination or distribution of digital number plates should start. People are delaying so much because really crimes are being committed, and the people who have committed the crimes have not been actually in any way traced. And that's one big issue there. And he says Ministry of Works should expedite the processes, and ICT should be able to link the system very fast to ensure that it is rolled out very quickly to very large number of people, so that people are able to move on with the digital number plates. And actually the president was jokingly saying that actually he's tired of those number plates that are manual, that at some point can get lost and you fail to track them. That is a very key issue. And also once the digital number plates are rolled out, they are actually expected to be helping the country in tracking, and also to help the country in incidences where people forge number plates and so on. It will be actually be able to curtail some of those kind of things. But the question of the cost of affording the number plates is still one issue that is happening there. So we hope that those who are vulnerable, who may not really be able to afford within time, will be given time to actually pay for those number plates. I hope it will not have a deadline, because many times in Uganda there are a lot of issues that come with deadline when people cannot even beat the deadlines. So that is very important to consider the vulnerable in the rural settings, especially somebody who works the whole day and gets 5,000 from border work, and he needs to fuel the bike for tomorrow's work. And those are things that are very pertinent, that need to be considered in all aspects when we are talking about bringing projects, programs that are targeting everyone. So we need to be considerate of all the sectors, or identify people in terms of income levels, and also many ways that they are able to really do that. Let's take a break from here, and we'll be able to come back with the other issues that are at hand, especially away from Uganda, and we'll be able to finish it in other parts of the world. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier we're actually discussing the issues of the URA enforcement team being actually the operations of URA being suspended in the Western region up to Saturday, and in case the meeting on Saturday yields fruit, that suspension will be lifted. But in case it is not fruitful, it may not be lifted. That's one big issue there that we have been discussing. But also looking at some of the issues that are happening in this country, talk about the digital number plates and also the issues to do with the politics in Uganda. That is where we have been able to drive you through and understanding what is actually going on. For those of you who are actually watching us from other parts of the continent, you should be aware that West Nile TV is also live on YouTube and other social media platforms. You can be able to move to check the Kokoliriko show that is there on the social medias. So you can type in and also type whatever you have. Any opinion, comments are all most welcome, and I will be able to project them live here and read. For those who want to hear, for those who want to see, we'll project. For those who want to also understand, also give responses, and also those who want to really tell us where they're watching us from, is very, very important. We appreciate, and we'll be able to do the needful to take you through that. Let's move away from Uganda to our neighbors, that is Democratic Republic of Congo, where World Health Organization actually has intervened in rescuing the sexual abuse victims. Okay, there are so many women who were sexually abused during the wars, during the mining and so on, and you realize that each woman was actually given US dollar, that is 250, and from the 250, that is an equivalent of 945,000 Ugandan shillings. That is one thing that has been given for these people, and this is out of 120 women that were recorded, and out of this, 12 of them rejected the offer. Okay, they said actually this is not really something they need because they were abused, and that sexual act may not be purchased completely, because some of them have contracted diseases, some of them have actually gone through a lot of trauma. With the 940-something thousand Ugandan shillings, it may not really be able to help them so much, and that's one big issue there that has happened. Remember, the physician from World Health Organization actually clearly indicated that this intervention comes as an aid to identify those who are being sexually abused, and also to ensure that they get back to their hope. Remember, this week is from this week to December 1st is the time we are talking about GBV, and that encompasses the issues of sexual exploitation. And if you look at World Health Organization's report about the incidences, they're actually saying that most of these have been committed by the military, the military personnel, the people you'll say in positions, and in big positions, and also the people who are actually, especially the rebel groupings and so on. They have been so much into raping women and also really exploiting sexually them in terms of those acts that they commit. So it was an intervention tailored towards gathering all the victims and also identifying them to ascertain how much damage has been caused by the internal conflicts in DRC, and also many other interventions have been really pushed into to ensure that these people forget about those incidences. But unfortunately, there are others who have taken it not positive and have said this money is too little to sell their lives. Though their life has been damaged, wasted, and shown, they cannot be able to accept such monies. There are so many people in society who have different characters. When an offer is brought, but also what is the motive of the intervention that you are bringing to the people. Sometimes people feel maybe they should not be able to receive those aids because at some point maybe they will be more exposed in turn the situation when they were in. So those are some of the things that need assurance. Consent is very important, especially on the issues of issues to do with the capital offenses. Talk about the vulnerable groupings, the women who have been victims of sexual abuse, and also identifying them is a very bad thing, and that's why maybe some of them might have shied away. So that is a very good issue, actually a great issue that we need to consider if we want to really move very far with our interventions. We have seen so many aids or support brought by implementing partners, but they at last expose the victims of circumstances, or they write good reports for them to get more donor support from the international organizations. This makes people more vulnerable. They feel like they are being used to advocate for money for such organizations, and that's one area there that has been really not really good for many other people. And if you look at many others that are happening elsewhere, you realize that even in other countries, donor support is restricted. It should be tailored through the government systems. But this was a direct offer from World Health Organization. So that is a very prominent issue there that has come through from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is just the neighbors who are on interim basis in the East African community right now, because they have not been confirmed as the shore or the people or the country that is fully into the East African community. And that's one big issue there that is happening in the Eastern, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's move away from DRC and look at the elections that have happened in Liberia. Remember, the incumbent, that is George Weah, is tussling it with his vice president, that is Joseph Boakai, who is also confident. And remember, George Weah was also confident. He said earlier in his campaigns that there is no panic, there is no tension, I'm in charge. And that's what he actually stated to one of the local medias there. And he went ahead to say that he is going to retain this for the second time. That's what he is actually stating there. And remember, this is the second rerun of the elections. The first elections were done and it was cancelled because all of them were at par. They got the same number of votes, the same number of percentages and so on, and they are going for a rerun. And that's what the constitution in the Republic of Liberia has stated, and that's what currently is taking place. Remember, the elections were conducted from the 14th of this month, so yesterday was the time for tallying and so on. The processes are still proceeding. But one other issue there that has happened, and many people have continued to talk across Africa, is the issues to do with poor voter turnout, the poor apathy, and also the issues to do with the people not trusting the democracy system we have in Africa is one big issue there. You realize that the voter turnout was witnessed to be very low, and this is one issue there that the heads of states, the African leaders are trying to discuss, including the AU, trying to see what could be the issue behind low voter turnout in times when people are actually expected to go and do voting. People are expected to democratically elect their leaders. People are expected to exercise their rights to choose their leaders and so on. Why the voter turnout is always very, very low, and that's one big issue here. And I remember the statements made by George Weah did not even seek Joseph Boakai. Boakai actually stated that he understands the running of the government and also is confident that he will be able to push it somewhere. He's going to actually take it to take the mantle from his boss, and he is confident that he's also going to make it. But remember, the security also said that all is calm. There's nothing like tension in the country. There's nothing like arrests being made, and they are confident that all is going to be peaceful. And that is a big issue there that is happening there in Liberia, and that's is a very good trend. Okay, whether the voter turnout is very low, but as long as the elections continue to be peaceful is what we want to see, because when we lose lives, we are actually losing resources that will build the economy of a country. So we need to ensure that we protect the citizens, the electorates, we say to be electorates, and also the people who are living in the country. We give them the space of loving their country, of ensuring that they are able to have the best of their time, enjoy their nation. We don't want to see people who name themselves so and so in diaspora so and so who has run away because of hostile environment in the country. Those are things that are not needed. So that is what is actually currently happening in Liberia. We appreciate that the peace should be kept the way it is being done, and also a lot should be able to trail. Okay, that is it. And many other issues that are happening across the world. And because of time, we will put it to close here. And up next, we'll be having the news in Lubarati with Fete Emmanuel, and many other programs will be coming on your way. Remember, today is the Thursday edition. We'll be having the Daktari show that comes from the hour of 10, and it will move up to the hour of midday. That takes you to the news in Alur, that is Lemangia, that will be taking you up to close to half past noon. And also we'll have the break time, we'll have the whistle time coming from 2 to 3, and also the Shukujuku team will be able to join the race from the time of 5 p.m. up to 7 dot, and thereafter we'll be having the news in English, that is the Nilecast, which will be able to finish the day, and many other programs will proceed from there up to morning, when we'll be able to meet for the Friday edition of the Kokoliriko show that I'll be back with. My name is Federick Dramadri. Behind the camera is Dijon Pro, who is there, but also we have Aldo, who is the producer for this show. We appreciate you people. We salute you very, very much, and also salute the management of West Nile Television. Mary, I don't forget you at the reception, but also my news editor, that is Christine Okumuringa, who is the chief news editor and the anchor for Nilecast. Not forgetting Farish Majid, who is also one pertinent editor for Lugbara News. We're out of the studios. Thank you.